My name is Jackie Murray. I'm with Ask a Tech Teacher, and I'm your guide through these 32 lessons in the Structured Learning Technology curriculum. We're in kindergarten in this lesson, and we're on lesson 10. So we've moved past basics. They have a good understanding of how to sit at the computer, how to take care of it, how to use it, get started on a keyboard, those type of basics. And we're moving into specific skills they can integrate into your teaching, such as reading on the internet. Kids love using their iPads and their tablets, and reading is very easy, very colorful to do on the internet, on these digital devices. So we're going to show you how to do that, and students are going to get to try it out and then use it the rest of the year. Now they'll know how to do it and they'll be able to use it. So certain skills, vocabulary words, when students are reading on the internet, one of the things they can do is search that text much easier on the internet than they could do in a paper book. So Control F is a really good short key for them to know. Control F, and if I do it here, see it pops up find. I'm in a PDF. Your books will likely be something else than that, but they're going to have some sort of a way to search the text for something. So if I do find and then I put in whatever my topic was, reading, it's going to go through and tell me all the places where reading is, starting right there. Where's reading? Usually, maybe not in this version of Adobe Acrobat, but often it'll tell you how many instances it has, and you can go previous and next. In this way, students can easily find a topic or a character that they're looking for. If they're reading on iBooks or Kindle, it's the same way. You go to the search function and it actually lists them all on the left side for them, so they can find all the instances of that character, find a last name that they forgot or a setting, something like that. So Control F, even in kindergarten, is a great short key to know. Digital citizen, digital neighborhood just reminds students of those because they're on the internet now. Every time you go on the internet, you remind them the right way to use it. Guided reading, you can discuss that as it works in your classroom. Scroll bar on the right side, here's your scroll bar, and students need to understand what the scroll bar is. If they click here, and it'll tell me what page I'm on page 98. And then you can scroll up and down like that and find your page. So let me go back to 98. And there we go, 99. And there's also one at the bottom, although it's not showing on here because I only have one page showing. But if your page is too big for the screen, then it'll have the scroll bar at the bottom. This one on the side, though, is particularly important in reading. Tabbed browsing, they might have the guided the reading collection you're in, and then another tab over here will have the book they're in. So these tabs are real important. Mine, of course, aren't that, but it's the same idea. It's tab browsing. I can go from the teacher manual to the student manual. Okay, so the problem solving, pretty much what they're getting used to. The only one is I can't find the character in the story, and that's your Control F. That will be a complaint they have. I can't remember the guy's name, so there we go. Essential question is based around your reading program in your school and using technology to develop. How do variances in setting and experience of characters change the story? So they have to read the story on the internet to find that out. Okay, make sure you have a list of stories for the students that tie in with whatever your inquiry is in the classroom. It's okay to just read any story, but it's better to read a story that relates to what they're working on. And then if you do have a guided reading collection like Raz Kids, something like that, then make sure it's available. Students know their login, know how to use it. If they don't know how to use it, this is the lesson to show them. Okay, so always when you start going on the internet, remind them the right way to do it. You can cover this either as simply internet-based reading or using your guided reading collection, or both if you have time, because students might want to read outside of the selection available in their guided reading. So you want them to understand how to do that. Here's a sample of of a typical site they might find, and then how they maneuver through it. So internet-based reading, you start at whatever their website is, the internet start page maybe, where you have the collections listed, you have the tabs that they go to, this one, or they have a collection of them that they're going to work their way through. And when they're done, they go back to the main collection. So take this opportunity to work students through the internet. Just those basics we went over, those basics in the scroll bar. Little bits, so they get used to doing these small mouthfuls, and then they've got it and they move on to the next one. And then demonstrate for them how to go to a list. Here's a reading list. Here's a reading list that works well on iPad. So whichever you have, you can go to one of these, and then just show students how to go through it and find theirs. I think they have these links on theirs. Maybe they don't. No, we don't, because I leave it to you to tell them where to go. But here's your list, and then you'll go here, and you might want to make this available to them, and then have them go through the list and find the reading that they want. Make sure they know what they're looking for as they're reading. These are right out of Common Core, so these for kindergarten. So this might be what you're looking for, or you might take your annotation tool over here, fill in and sign, and then add some items that you want them to, and then they can do the same using their annotation tool. They can write themselves notes of what they want to add to this list or cross out that they don't need. While they're reading, make sure they know how to decode words they don't understand. You don't want them to ignore them. You don't want them to highlight them and say, I'll get back to them, or write them in a list. You don't want to do that. You want them to figure out the meaning while they're reading, so it helps make sense of the context. So here are some options. You might have a tool on your browser, a browser extension like Merriam-Webster or dictionary.com, that lets them just double click on the word, and then it'll come up with the meaning, options for the meaning. I don't have that here, but because I'm in a PDF reader, and Adobe Acrobat doesn't have that. They should. Your Google Classroom will. So, but make sure they have access to these. Even if you're putting one on their desktop, like Kids Picture Dictionary, that they then quickly go there, type their word in, find out what it means, go back to the story. This has to be done in about 30 seconds, or it takes them completely out of the story. That's why an app or an extension on the web browser is best. Guided reading collections, whatever you use, here's some popular ones, but you might have a different one. Just make sure that they know how to get into them. They know how to take notes in them, to collaborate if they have that ability, to share with classmates, to send you information if need be. And here's some collections for them to read if you have time, and here's some for iPads. If you have time, you can send them to them. So their extension, have them show a classmate how they use the vocabulary tool to decode a word. This will make them learn it. 3 to 5 minutes as an exit ticket. It'll get them to learn it. If they didn't happen to need it, then they'll have to figure out how to do it, and it'll teach their classmate if the classmate didn't know how. Here's a couple ideas what else to do if they get finished and then you have more time with them. I think that's about it in this one. Okay, well, I ended up in the student work. Let me see. So we have a couple more things in the differentiation suggestions for you if you need to differentiate for students. Okay, oh, and you know, I left subtext off when I highlighted this because it's gone. Sad to say, I really liked that reading collection, but it's gone. So you have these instead, and these are all very good. I'm sure you'll find one here that really works for your purposes. Another suggestion which you might like is the nonfiction reader like Newsella. Now, it's a little mature maybe for kindergartners, but look at it and see if it suits your students' needs. And it's a good option. Rather than the fiction stories, have one that's a nonfiction. Okay, guys, that's it. Let me know if I can answer any questions for you, and have a great week. Bye.